channel. It's Fumi Ade here. Welcome once again. I actually feel so weird saying welcome to my YouTube channel because it seems everyone says it. It's just so weird. I can't believe I'm saying that right now. Okay, so I got a lot of requests the last time to teach how to do overbust contouring as well as neck tightening. Okay, so we talk about overbust tightening, neck tightening. It's called under bodies contouring. You know, when we make the bodies, we had some ease to it in order for me to hang loosely on the body, but we need it to accentuate the natural curve of the body, the bust area, the hip and all of that. That's when we start doing tightening, especially when for the neckline you have your neckline to be loose, especially when the neck is wide, so you need to do tightening to it. If you have a wide neckline and you do not do any form of tightening, trust me, it's going to be so loose and saggy. So when we talk about bodies contouring, which areas of the bodies need contouring? You can contour the neckline, okay? You can contour the armhole, you contour the overbust, you contour the underbust, you can even contour the center front. And I think, yeah, the center back as well, you contour the side, the center back, contour the side, so that we make some dresses like shift dresses that is just straight, it hangs loosely on the body. You don't need to, you might not even need to shape the side. Even when you are making A-line dresses, we have to even skate it out. So but when we are making fitted dresses, we have to do all of those tightening. So all of them actually fall under contouring, making the bodies follow the natural curve. Okay, the bodies follow the natural curve of our body. So that's what contouring is all about. So I'll be showing you in this video how to tighten the overbust. It is very important for you to tighten the overbust when you are making dresses like off shoulder, strapless bodies. That's maybe you're making corset, or maybe a tube dress, okay, maybe a bustier dress but has no strap, or you're making dresses with yoke and maybe the yoke is made with mesh. It's very important that you tighten the overbust. If not, it will just be so loose because the body itself is naturally made to be loose. Okay, so in this video I will show you how to tighten the overbust. Then I will show you how to apply what we call gaping darts. Okay, so gaping dart is what we use in tightening necklines. I'm going to be showing you drawing different necklines and then show you how to tighten it. So let's get started. So right here is my traced bodice block, okay, and I'm just going to go ahead to contour the overbust. Now before we contour the overbust, let me label it. In the last video I told you that this place is the chest line. Okay, it is usually 2 inches above the bust line. Okay, this is the bust line. I believe this hammer was a little bit bigger, that's why it was raised. Okay, I don't know if I've talked about the hammer. I think I'm good. I'm just going to talk about it in this video. This is the true bust line. That's the bust point. That's the apex of the bust. Okay, and this is the underbust, and then this is the the waistline, the front waistline. All right, so now overbust shaping is mainly for the front, not the back. But when it comes to the neck tightening, I'm going to show you from both the front block and the back block. Now before I go ahead to tighten the overbust, let me talk about the armhole. All right, now on your clients or whoever you're making your dress for, you measure the person's armhole circumference. So let's assume that you measure the armhole circumference and it resulted into 16 inches. On your paper, if the armhole is going to fit perfectly well without being too tight or too loose, you should have +2 of this value on your paper for an average person. For a plus size, let's say from size 16, you should have like +2.5. Size 16 can still manage to, but once the person is getting like size 18, minimum of +2.5. In fact, some people you should have at least +3 inches. Automatically it will happen on your paper. Do you get? So that's how I do my armhole. So but averagely I usually have +2 inches. So let's assume that the person's armhole was 16. I should be having 18 on the pattern paper. Let me measure this armhole now. I don't know. I just picked a trace pattern that I have I didn't, label this. This is 9.5. I believe this armhole should be about 17 or 16 before on the person's measurements. Okay, so what I have here now is about 18.5. So possibly that the person's armhole is 16.5. You get what I'm trying to say? So after measuring this way, I've measured on the pattern, you should have up to 18.5. So that's about the armhole. That's not really what we are doing today. Okay, I just have to make mention of it because of this thing here. Now let's assume that after measuring, you don't have up to that 18 inches, or maybe it is excess. Okay, so I believe this was excess. So let's say after measuring, maybe I had like 19 inches instead of 18. What you do is the excess is 1 inch. Divide 1 by 2 to give you half. Raise the bust line up by half. Okay, on both front and back, and then redraw it, reconnect it to the back and then the chest. So to give you your extra 2 inches by the time you measure the second time. And if it is probably too short, okay, that's the opposite. If it's too short this time around, all you need to do is just do the opposite. From that underarm point, that's the bust line, come down by ½ inch. Okay, earlier I said go up by ½ inch if it was excess, but if it is smaller, you want to increase it, you want to widen it, you come down by ½ inch. So it depends on how many inches is smaller. If it is smaller by 1, mostly you do half. If it is smaller by half, you do quarter. Okay, just half of the value of what excess or what shortage you have is what you raise it or lower it by. Okay, I hope that's well understood. So let's go into what we are here to do today. Now, once you've located your chest line, your bust line, your true bust line, your under bust, you cannot go ahead to contour. When you're contouring the over bust, you need majorly the chest line and the bust line. You don't even need the true bust line, neither do you need the under bust. Under bust is for under bust contouring, which we are not doing today. So now when we are talking about contouring can be done 50% or 100%. 50% maybe for off-shoulder dress, you do not want it to be so firm. When I mean 50%, the value you have, you can see that there is a dart intake that passes through the chest line. Okay, this dart intake here, you divide it into 2. By the time you divide it into 2, okay, or let's say divide it into 4, the value you get, okay, is what you take to the left. Like this one, I have about 1 1/4. All right, so if I divide it into 4, okay, this is into 2, that's like 5/8. Then into 2 again, that's a little bit more than 3/8. So I'll just have to take that 1 2 3. So take that to the left, take that to the left, and then connect it. So like I'm widening the darts, okay, by 50% of the value that is here. That's 50% tightening. Now 100% tightening is what I usually do because it gives me that perfect fit I want. Most times I do 100% tightening, be it yoke dresses, overbust, strapless dresses. If you are doing yoke dresses as well, you can do 50% tightening, but if you really want it firm to the body, you should do 100%. So now 100% tightening, what is what I do for 100% tightening, most cases I don't even bother to measure the value that easy. I just take ½ inch to the left. If I know I want to do 100% tightening, ½ inch to the left of both sides of the dart leg, and it's just perfect for me. Okay, so once I've done that, I connect it to the bust point here like this. Okay, you see that I connect this one as well. To the bust point. Now I can't leave it this way because by the time you measure the distance between here and here, and then measure from here to here, you will notice that this one is kind of longer than this. So you need to do what we call truing and blending. You need to true it and then blend it. Now here, you now go ahead to draw the shape you want for your chest. Your second neckline, which is we normally do sweetheart neckline in most cases. Okay, so if I was going to do a sweetheart neckline now, I will just go ahead and take my curve ruler. Most of the time I use my chest line. Okay, after doing truing and blending, I can decide to raise it up, but I use my chest line first. So I'll position the curve ruler like this in such a way that the curviest part is sitting in the middle. Then I connect it to the armhole. Okay, then take this one down as much as I want. Okay, if you want it to get to the bust line, true bust line, fine. If you want it to stop
on the bust line. If I want an average curve, I do not want it to show my cleavage, I usually stop on the bust line. But once it goes below the bust, especially for busted people, you know, it starts showing a little bit of your cleavage. So, but you know, it's actually fine now because it gives you that round curve. However, you can do it as you wish. So now I've done my neckline, okay, my sweetheart neckline. The next thing I want to do is to through and blend the overbust area. So how do you do that? You need to, you know, fold these darts, okay, fold it like this. But before we do that, let me make it much easier for you. You need to take this back to this point of the shoulder like this, okay. Take this also back to the point of the shoulder dart. So you are not widening the dart leg at the upper parts, okay, just here. So once you've done that, you kind of fold them over each other again, but at the same time you're still trying to follow the crease line of the dart leg here. So here still have to match, of course, here still have to match. So just take this and this together like this. You might decide to slash it to make it easier for you, okay, or you place this line at the edge of your what's it called, the edge of the table. But my table, if I should do that, you won't be able to see that. So I'll just slash I'll slash here temporarily. This is just temporary. I'm going to pull it back because I'm not trying to transfer the dart to the side. So make sure that your slash gets to the end of the dart, the shoulder dart. So it will be easy for you to do the folding now. So you can see that I'm not struggling with it like I was doing before. So you just take it this way, right? It's very right for here to be folding like that, okay? It's very right. So just take it this way. Make sure that the crease line is following the line you ruled, because there's possibility that you want to create a yoke from here. So it's like we are doing even extra in this class, okay? I just wanted to teach you overbust tightening, but we'll also teach you how to create a yoke as well, okay? So you take your paper gum tape like this and close up the darts. You close the darts up. That's all. So once you've done this, you now redraw the neckline, okay, to balance it for the last time. You are still bringing it here, but this time around you want to balance it. So this is all for throwing and blending. Now if you decide that you want to take it above the chest line, you can do that here. If you decide that you want to give it maybe like an angled shape like this, you can give it any shape you want from here right now, any shape you desire from here. You can even decide to take it up like this, like let's say you want to do off shoulder now, you can decide to take it up a little bit, okay, and cut. So this will be your yoke. This will be your yoke, this will be the lower part, but I'm just going to do the sweetheart neckline, okay? So before you cut it, this is a yoke, right? You have to mark the point of intersection so that when you're bringing the yoke back to the body, you know where to stop, all right? So that's that. Then you can now remove this one now and separate the panel. So you can see, by the time you are cutting now, you cut this space off. By the time you bring them back together, you're bringing the fabric together, they will balance and it will form this nice shape. So I'll just go ahead and close this line back. So that is that about overbust tightening. By the time, let's assume that this is not there, this yoke is not there, I'm just going to sew it as strapless like this. Of course, if you want it strapless, you definitely remove this part away, okay? So if you're sewing it as strapless like this, it will be perfect. For me, I don't measure the overbust circumference. I don't need it. Go and ask all my students. I do not need it. I need to fit you perfectly well, even if you're not doing corsets, even if you're not doing that crisscross back closure, even if you're using just a zipper, it will fit perfectly. So I don't measure any off shoulder circumference. No. My tightening is just enough for me. Once you know the value you're meant to, use, you're good to go. And that is it for overbust tightening. So the next video, I'll be showing you how to, next, okay, I'm so used to the way I talk in my online classes. So next, I'm going to be showing you how to tighten the neckline. Okay, so let me just use the back as an example this time around. So let's say you are going to be having a very wide neckline at the back. Okay, so let me say I'm having a very deep neck curve, say a very deep neck curve like this. You can see that this is very deep, all right, and you are going to be cutting this place away. If you sew this part, the remaining part the way it is going to gape. So that is why you need what we call gaping darts. Okay, gaping darts. So gaping darts will help you to prevent the neckline from gaping, okay, especially wide necklines. And how do you do that, since there is no dart that is coming this way on the bodies? So here, all you need to do is maybe like, you can this is the neckline, you can divide it into like 3 places. Divide it into like 3 places like this, and take a dart, or maybe like say 4 places. Let's say 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 3 points, okay, on the line. At each point, okay, towards the waistline, just slightly create a dart on both sides of the point, like 1/4 inch, like a 1/4 inch dart. You can see that. I'm going to create another one now. You see that? So the last one, because it's very wide, sometimes I do just 2, but because this is very wide, I have to just do up to like 3, if not 3 okay. So that's taking as much as almost 1 inch away from it. You can even take from here as well, like another quarter, because I want it to be as much as 1 inch so that it can be really firm. So you can see this is the center back slanted CB, so it's going to go off with it. So I'm just going to create a crease line, okay, on one of the dart leg, fold it over. Okay, you must be able to use the tip of your finger here. You can see how I did that. You taper it off. You taper it off like that. Make sure that it climbs the second dart leg. You can see how I closed it. And I'm just going to use my gum tape. So use your second finger to hold it down while you're taking your gum tape. There's nobody to give you the tape. So you don't start, holding with your tip of your finger again. So that's it. So the same way I've done this. Don't cut it before applying this gaping dart, okay? Do not cut it before applying the gaping darts. Okay, so just use your, the tip of your finger. Now, I know some of you might be, already thinking of the question, how long should the dart be? It depends on you. How long is your neckline, and how long is the point where you are taking the dart from to the waistline? Of course, my dart must not pass my waistline. So the distance will determine. If you notice that this one here is shorter, is longer than this one here, is longer than this one here, because this is already close to the waist. So you just use your discretion. So you have to work with your fingertip, taper it off. You don't want any unnecessary puff. Just taper it off in such a way that it will not give the paper some funny puff. So that's it. I'll pick the last one. It can be a bit tricky because of how tiny it is. These darts are not included in our pattern drafting. It's not included in the drafting, and they are just darts that are not planned, but it is necessary depending on the type of dress you are making. So it's not like it is compulsory for you to do this in all cases. When you are making loose fitting garments, you do not need gaping darts. Only when you are contouring and when you have a wide neckline, that's when you need a gaping dart. All right, so that's that. You can say after this, now I will now go ahead and redraw the neckline. This is also called truing and blending. So while I was folding the dart, I was truing it. The last thing here is the blending part. So this way now I can cut the upper part off. This is slightly puffy, but it does not really matter because it's not so obvious. Just make sure that you spread it out as you're pinning it on your fabric, and it's as simple as that. Very, 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 very simple. The same thing with front neckline. When you have a very wide neckline, especially when I'm using mesh on my neck and I widen it, I hold small gaping that. If not, it will be gaping because naturally when you're sewing stretchy fabric, it stretches more. So if you do not apply gaping that, it will stretch. Even if you think that, oh, I can be so careful and all of that, make sure when you're sewing, when you're working with stretchy fabric, especially mesh, because it's even lightweight, no matter how careful you are, to stay stretched. So make sure that if it has gone beyond the basic neckline, go ahead and add your gaping dart. No matter how little it is, just add a gaping dart. Okay, so the wider the neckline, the more dart you need on the neckline. So I think that will be all for this class. Okay, I'll see you all next time. So make your request in the comment section what video you want me to upload this, and I think I already have a video I'm uploading it. I will be uploading a bit of that manipulation. That is, I'll be teaching you guys how to create armhole princess darts. Some of you must have seen my video on that before, and some of you might have not, so I'm just going to upload it not long after this. Then following it, I'll upload how you can create contour for armhole princess darts. So guys, I don't think you're going to see my face again after this video. I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful time. I don't know what time you're watching this. However, before you go, ensure you subscribe and click on the notification bell. I cannot wait to see you next time. Bye.
I didn't fit it, but I rock it like a baby in a coat. I put the water in the ocean in the city that I'm from. I like the room in the dark cause my blink is a touch. I watch fashion that today in the mirror that I saw. Shaping like a ball, we go ball. Flex to the door. I go set to the front. No return. And when I enter the club, no day my front. Cause me I get it gone. No they do me wrong. Oh, I'm a fashion killer, yeah. I got much to deliver, yeah. When I pass you shiver, yeah. And my ass got thicker.